beautiful, elegant building was home away from home for the Christchurch team for about nearly 20 years. And I thought I'd start there and I'd talk about the people that were in this building on the 22nd of February, and then talk about the world that they've moved into, which is your world. Post-earthquake, 40 or 50 remarkably lucky people ran out the entrance on the left there, and they turned one of three ways. I think about 7 people turned right, and they went to help out at the CTV building, which was our neighbour. About 5 shot across the road, and they looked for their cars, and they got out to the construction sites that we had around the city. And the rest turned left to Latimer Square, where they did probably what most of you did, which is pick up your mobile phone and make those desperate calls to loved ones and try to recontact. They, and the rest of our team around the city, and all of us in Christchurch, entered a world of uncertainty. Let's go the other way. So it's also a world of opportunity. We have a huge opportunity to rebuild the city, and that will take enormous creative energy. And we're hearing some ideas today, enormous, great ideas. It will take huge collaboration because there are conflicts of interest out there. It will take enormous leadership. My talk today will add nothing to creativity. I'm a construction guy. I'm the sort of guy that would have walked in while Michelangelo had been on his back for 6 months painting away, and I would have walked in and gone, "Yeah, Michael, sort of roughly like the sketch, looks okay. You've only got 3 months, mate. And by the way, all these paint drops, are you watching how much paint you're using?" I'm a construction guy. Creativity is important, but I think what's also very important, particularly in our current environment, is giving confidence. Getting used to this. Creating certainty. So that's really what I want to talk about, is how we bring certainty into this uncertain world. So I'd like to work through 3 areas. Firstly, let's talk about this uncertainty. Then let's have a look at what could we do to bring certainty into the world we're in. And then finally, I'll be cheeky enough to say, I have an idea. I think we need a program. I think we need a clear milestones that we're all going to work to, that we can all take confidence on, because we all see and share the same milestone. So let's look at the uncertainty. I think there are 2 areas that are worth looking at. One is our homes, where we live, and then where we work. And if we look at the home environment, we've heard the number 300,000 people. I believe in Greater Christchurch, about 190,000 homes. There's a sense that 5,000 people are uninsured. We don't know what world they live in global. We're getting a sense that 15,000 to 20,000 people, or homes rather, are over cap. That is, they're over the $100,000 EQC payout. We're getting a sense, and it's very early days, that maybe 60% of those homes will be rebuilt, and 40, maybe to 30 to 40 will be repaired. We know that of the rest that will stay with EQC, that there will be some that will be major repairs. And you can imagine, if you have a $250,000 house, the $100,000 EQC payment is a huge proportion of your house that's in damage. But we know down at the other end that there'll be some just with cracks. EQC on their website saying that they've got just under 300,000 building claims, 190,000 houses. You get a sense, obviously, of multiple claims, but you get a sense that this earthquake has reached nearly every house. And yet we've had people like Hugh, who spoke earlier on, saying he's up here, he's got one of the most complex jobs out, the city plan, his house is destroyed, but he's still going. Christchurch is still going. Okay, let's try and personalise these people. And this is from a building perspective. If you put names, they're the minor crackers and the major crackers and the relocatables. But there is the worst place to be. That's to not know who you are. There are arguably 10,000 people in this I don't know. I don't know if the land is good. I don't know if I'm going to rebuild. I don't know if I'm a repair. In the world of uncertainty, that's a terrible place to be. Let's look at the questions that these people ask themselves. What, where, when? And that's a bit of a jumble. Some of these things, these people have some control on. 3, 5, 10 years, whenever they entered an insurance policy, they probably didn't read the fine print, and they're now reading that with a lot of attention. Some things they have no control of, the aftershocks. But there are a few things there, few decisions which they don't control, third parties control, but they are fundamental bottleneck decisions for them to get on with their lives. Will my house be repaired or rebuilt? Is the land I'm on going to stay here, and will I be able to stay here, or will I be relocated? If I am relocated, what are my options? Where could I move to? Critical decisions for these people to get on with their lives. If we move now to the city, this data is about a month old, so it's out of date. The world's changing real quickly. This was the early data, 4,300 buildings, roughly in the 4 avenues, inspected by engineers, nearly 1,000 red stickered, 1,100-ish yellowed, and the rest green. So if you test that data now, and I think Colliers International did a survey of their building owner clients, which represented nearly a quarter of the office occupancy of the CBD, 42% said their buildings were either demolished or were red stickered. And there's data coming through of at least 1,000 buildings in the CBD going to be destroyed, and I heard a rumour a week ago it's going to be 2,000. So the main thing is a world of uncertainty out there. So who are we talking about? So I think there are maybe 4 categories. Let's get a building guy. Building owners, tenants, people who, the workers, and then the visitors, the tourists and the people coming in for retail. These people are inextricably linked. The building owner needs a tenant. The tenant has to have workers who want to work in the city. And the workers want a vibrant life which is really made viable by other visitors and tourists coming into the city. For the building owner, these are the people, these are the key people. These are the people they have to find and attract. So that's a quick look at the who. And if we go to the what, where and when, the question is even, or the dynamic, the feasibility is even more complex. Again, these guys are suddenly reading their insurance policy, they're catching up on the fine print, and that's not a happy conversation. They're looking at their debt levels, and if they're exposed, they've got interesting dialogues with their bank. You can imagine how complex that is for a building owner. Once again though, before they can go too far, there are 3 key decisions held by others that are stopping them moving forward. The first is the tenants. What do they want and when will they come into town? Hugh's central city plan. Without knowing that, they can't move forward. And without knowing when the demolition area will be clear, they don't know when they can actually get back in the city. 3 key issues affecting their uncertainty. So there's a quick look at uncertainty, and from that, from both the home and the office side, I've tried to pull out the key questions that are sitting with third parties that the citizens and the business people of Christchurch need to have resolved. So how do we create certainty there? I think most Christchurch people know that the what is a complex issue. It will take time. There are forums to be held. There are experts to be listened to. There are people to be consulted. They know that the where will come out of the what. The thing that they want is the when. When is this going to happen? What's the framework that I can then start putting my framework around? And so how do we give them the when? And I think the best way to do it is a program. A commitment to a program that is simple, it's high level, it covers the breadth of the built environment we live in, the home, the workplace, and the playground. That it is aggressive. We've got to move along quickly. And so as I look to put a program together, bearing in mind I don't have privy to the information that others have. It would look something like this. From the home perspective, you must tell me by July, and that's telling me as in paying me my money if that's what's required, so not going off to government, ratified in my letterbox, am I staying on this land or not? The insurers need to tell me by Christmas dinner, am I going to be repaired or rebuilt, so I can have that conversation with my family. By February 2012, I need to know if I am going to have to move, what are my options? What are the new areas of land that might open up for me? As a business person, and I don't know too much about the Cashel Street Mall project, Restart 2009-10-11, but that concept is superb. We have to re-engage people with the city, re-engage the concept that there is retail, there's energy, there's entertainment there. The leaders need to deliver on that time frame. The Central City Plan, probably the most critical piece of documentation that this city will do for 100 years. Absolutely vital. And when you hear rumours, and of course there are rumours out there that there may be parallel plans being developed, this city has no time for parallel plans. It has no time for plans to go to government, sit there for 6 months. There is no in series. February 2012, this plan needs to be signed off so that the people of Christchurch can move forward. Demolition. Sarah's doing some great work putting pressure on people to demolish buildings, but the people who want to rebuild need to start. Give us a date that we can get back in the city and it's not a thoroughfare for trucks moving demolition rubbish. June 2012, buildings that aren't demolished, high penalty rates. Getting the CBD going, there are plenty of avenues. Beirut had an answer, and their answer was very aggressive top-down, single developer. We'll tell you what to do, we will take over control of the city. Personally, I believe that is not the New Zealand way, and it's not the Christchurch way. There's a great body of developers and property owners in Christchurch who've been here for generations. They have a loyalty to the city, they want to rebuild, they have nous and they have money. What we need to do is form a charter of those people with Sarah, the City Council and others, and work collaboratively and use the muscle of Sarah not to knock these people on the head and knock them out of the way, but to encourage them to collaborate. A charter of CBD property owners who are committed to building in 2012. And to help them, the government tenants that have fled to the suburbs with the rest of us, they need to be the first people coming back in and saying, yes, I will sign up. And I will sign up with that seed, and I will be part of recreating the city. And if we move to the playground, Christchurch needs to re-establish itself as a world-renowned city and a world's best place to live, and it needs a playground. The QE2 facility equivalent needs to be rebuilt. The opportunity to build an arts and entertainment centre that is the envy of the world, or envy of New Zealand at a minimum, is there upon us now. Regrettably for government, having just heard the budget, it needs seed funding just to get it over the line. But that's a commitment that should be made in February 2012. There are my 10. What's really important here, though, is that the city comes forward with a program. The scary part about this program is it's not just a Sarah program. It involves insurers, it involves city council, it involves the property developers, the property owners. The broader the group that signs up to this plan, the more effective it will be. The other scary part about a program, and being a construction guy I know this, as soon as you write it down, you're accountable to it. But what's happening in the world at the moment is that we need to be held accountable, and we need to have the courage to put a stake in the sand and move forward. Thank you very much.